let's talk about Liverpool, because they've lost the last 4 or 5. That one win only being in the Champions League. Tom, does this match today against Palace become a must-win for Liverpool?
I don't think so, only because the context of the boat is taking on so much water. Just throw the Carabao Cup overboard. Just cede this one, focus on the Premier League, focus on the Champions League. And the context of it being Crystal Palace, I think I speak for all fellow Liverpool fans. I'm sick of seeing Crystal Palace. I respect the hell out of them. I don't want to play them again. I want a break from Crystal Palace. This is the 3rd time this season. In the Community Shield, they outplayed Liverpool and won. And in the last Premier League game, they trounced Liverpool in that game. We're good on Crystal Palace. I don't need to see them anymore. Play Chiesa and the kids and keep it moving.
Yeah, we've seen the 3 times they've played them. They've, in the last 3 matchups, Liverpool have lost.
Yeah, I actually think they're getting Crystal Palace at a good time. Because Crystal Palace, although they've had some monster results and there's been this feel-good vibe around the club since they won the FA Cup, you look at their last 4 matches, it hasn't been the Palace that we've come to love. They're winless in 3 of their last 4. And if you're Liverpool and if you're Arne Slot, who won't be on the sideline, Giovanni Bronckhorst will be managing this side. I think Arne Slot might be in Dubai, may need a vacation, mind you. But this is a chance for players like a Chiesa, and I loved you mentioned Chiesa, for some of the players who Liverpool fans have been calling for to get an opportunity to get some burn. I agree with you that this isn't make or break for Liverpool, right? They have bigger fish to fry, but Liverpool are steeped in history in the Carabao Cup. You said they're the winningest side in League Cup history?
Yeah, 10 League Cup titles.
So this is a big opportunity for some of the players who haven't gotten enough playing time and who should get more playing time, in my opinion.
So I disagree with you, Tom, that it's not a must-win. I just look at it from an optics perspective. You lose and you're eliminated again by Crystal Palace. I just don't think it's a good look for Liverpool at the moment. I think this is a game you have to win and kind of start building momentum. I don't care if it's a rotated squad. Again, a loss is a loss, and in this particular situation, a loss means an elimination. You never want to have that associated with your team during a crisis moment. It'll deepen the crisis. What's going to be the talk? If Liverpool lose to Crystal Palace, what are they going to say? Crystal Palace is going to be the bogey team of Liverpool. They can't beat Crystal Palace. What are they doing? It's a moment where Liverpool, perhaps maybe with a rotated squad, just little by go step by step to try to restore what you had last season. And this game, if you will, after 5 losses in their last 6 games, becomes the first stepping stone towards trying to find yourself again. It feels like they're lost Liverpool at the moment.
How do you think this side will line up? Because they can kind of use this, you spoke about it yesterday, use this Carabao Cup as an opportunity to see what's going wrong in this Liverpool squad, Tom.
Yeah, I think it'll be heavily rotated. And Nico, to your point, obviously the 11 players on the field and whoever comes in off the bench are going to be desperate to win and those expectations to be there. But looking at this kind of projected starting 11, this is what I'm expecting. Like, you see Wirtz, Ekitike, and McAllister. Those are really the only starters, like full choice starters in this team, and we'll see exactly how many of them are in the team sheet when the lineups are announced later today.
But how big is this for Wirtz? How even for McAllister, who's been out of form? Like, Wirtz can't even break into the 11 on any given Premier League weekend, and now it's like, all right, listen, if you're afforded the opportunity to start building momentum, this is a big game for him.
You hit on a really good point about players like a Florian Wirtz, because watching the Brentford match, Florian Wirtz is doing, maybe not that match, but some of the other matches, but going back and watching some of his matches, he's doing everything that you want him to do with the ball and in the final third, except connecting that last action. For a player of his quality, for a player of his standard, seeing that ball go in the back of the net, this is what you could use the Carabao Cup for. I look at players like Ekitike, who alongside Dominic Szoboszlai, he has been up there for Liverpool's best player so far this season. He's one of the players that has confidence. There are not enough players that have confidence in this team. Alexis McAllister needs confidence. People talk about Mohamed Salah, and I know McAllister has off-the-field things, but he has not looked the same. And he can be a player that can grab the midfield by the scruff of the neck and demand more excellence. When I look at Liverpool right now, Liverpool have ceased to become the Liverpool that won the Premier League title last season, that were so dominant in English football and across Europe, because they've lost the art of competing. they're one of the worst second ball teams in the entire Premier League. And if they don't show up and win second balls against Palace, they'll get played off the park. And so Alexis McAllister, for all the talent he has, he is a player that he can get stuck in and get the team moving. And as you talked about, Federico Chiesa, we saw his quality last time out when they played Southampton in the Carabao Cup. If Mohamed Salah is not going to produce, the more Chiesa gets opportunities, the more he takes advantage of them. There now becomes a conversation that do you take Salah out if he's not going to produce, and do you put Chiesa in? If I'm Chiesa, I'm relishing it. And he had a quote that I thought was really, really interesting and shows his mentality in the midst of crisis right now for the club. He said, in Italy, there's a saying that they have, winning creates winning. And it's as simple as that, but it's more complex because he has a winning mindset right now. I don't know how many Liverpool players have that winning mindset, and I question that about this team. There's been a lot of change, a lack of chemistry. Put Chiesa on, use this as a building block for him, Ekitike, Wirtz, and maybe you now have new North Stars you can build with.
This is a huge opportunity for a lot of players. I think you can individually single out several players, even like Rio Ngumoa, for example. Such a young, bright kid. When he got his opportunity, what was it, against Newcastle? He shined. He shines. He looked hungry, that vitality. You mentioned that Liverpool don't compete. Well, maybe you need a kid to light up that spark. Liverpool won this tournament playing the kids. The kids came up clutch for Liverpool not too long ago for Klopp. So this isn't a foreign concept to them. I don't know if Carabao Cup is the place where Liverpool hit the full reset button to their season. It won't be. I'm actually more sure of that. But maybe it does help to light a fire, to help Slot see a potential fix to the plethora of issues that he has that he doesn't have an answer for. Slot doesn't have solutions. He keeps on tinkering and the results keep on being the same. That's worrisome for Liverpool. That's why I do think today is a must-win for Liverpool. I think it's like a low-key, extremely important game in the narrative around this Liverpool this season.
I understand the points. I just don't think so. Let's say December 1st. Let's say they lose against Crystal Palace and then go on a good run of form in the Premier League. If we're sitting on this desk on December 1st, if that's a weekday, are you going to be like, I know that they won 5 in a row in the Premier League and a couple in the Champions League, but man, they lost to Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. I just think that this will be quickly forgotten if it doesn't go well. And the same way Premier League results don't go right, but they advance against Crystal Palace, we're not going to be like, but it's okay because they won this. I just think that in the grand scheme of things, this is the lowest priority tournament.
That's why it's low key, right? You end up losing this game and then you beat Real Madrid, or you have good results in the next round of games where you got Real Madrid, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest. Yes, sure, we're going to forget about it. But just from a form point of view, right? Again, this is not the ultimate junction point of Liverpool's season right now, but it's like, again, a low-key first building block, and that's why I think you have to win it. I think it'll be wrong for a lot of the Liverpool players. And Slot, I know he won't go into it thinking it's a throwaway game. The fans might, because, of course, yes, the priority list, this is not up there right now. But for a manager, for finding solutions, for trying new things, this is a prime opportunity to kind of see your flexibility, to build your new feeling that you're trying to construct.
Yeah, Nico, you just hit the nail on the head. So, of all the priorities, yes, I agree with both of you, but there are certain players who are going to be part of the bigger picture for Liverpool. There's a big issue at left back. Try telling Andy Robertson that this match doesn't matter. He'd clearly come through that back door right now, grab me by the mustache and say, I can't even do a Scottish accent, but I don't agree with that. For players like him, Andy Robertson, in my opinion, should be starting against Real Madrid because Milos Kerkez is a problem. Teams are going after him. So this game does matter for those things. This game does matter for Chiesa. This game does matter for Florian Wirtz. This game matters for Ekitike to continue to build confidence because they don't have Isak right now.
I think this is getting lost in the nuance. I'm not suggesting this game doesn't matter. What I'm saying is you don't play Van Dijk and Canate
out the ship.
I'm saying it's going to be okay if they lose. That doesn't mean the players on the field are going to be like, well, whatever.
It
this
might
doesn't
be
matter.
okay. It might be okay. That's the semantics here that we're arguing. It might be okay.
So should they play their strongest 11?
No.
Fixture congestion be dead.
I think Liverpool can play a mixed 11 just like many big teams do in Carabao Cup and find, you know what? I would even welcome, if I'm a Liverpool fan, a mixed 11, and even if you lose, you see improvement. You see the team playing better. You see something.
Well, you just said it was a must-win. If there's an improvement and they don't win, then what's the matter?
Here, I'm willing to be flexible here with you, right? Like as a pundit here, I'm saying for Liverpool, they kind of have to win this game low key because it doesn't look good. Because we here, as commentators and analysts, we talk about optics and what a team is going through at the moment. I think we'll be talking about if Liverpool doesn't win this, a furthering of the crisis. But as a fan, yes, of course, you don't care. I think if you ask everybody at Anfield, would you rather lose this game or finish top 8 of the Champions League? They'd either finish top 8 in the Champions League. Duh. But coming up soon, there's a Villa game.
Yeah,
there's a Real Madrid game.
Massive.
There's a Manchester City game. Then the international break. But I feel like this is a moment to go into, like, just reset a little bit of the momentum that's been killing you over the last couple of games.
Yeah, and I want to address something that I said in jest. Arne Slot will be at the match. He just wasn't at the press conference, so.
Yeah, okay. I completely agree with you, Nico. I think momentum is such a big thing in sports, and they've got Villa on the weekend and they've got Real Madrid. If they were to get one win against Palace, it wouldn't hurt them going into that hard stretch of games.